The Boston Celtics are ready to go all in on this move, but it's leaving a lot of Celtics fans unsure if this is the right move for the organization to help them get over the hump and back into the finals where they belong, or is this more so a move out of desperation that could potentially backfire, blow up in their faces, and not just cause problems right now, but even down the road? The Boston Celtics are a team that all trade season so far have been linked to many big men amongst the league. Players like Daniel Gafford in the Dallas Mavericks, Ivica Zubac, and even Jaren Jackson Jr. And a lot of fans are unsure if any moves at all need to be made, but a report that came out earlier today from Lowe highlights exactly what it is the Boston Celtics plan on doing between now and the trade deadline to secure their spot in the Eastern Conference as they make their way back to the finals. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the report from Lowe. What do the Celtics plan on doing? What do they actually need? And which path is the right path to secure another championship without sacrificing too much? But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Celtics Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Celtics related. And before we get started with today's video, the sponsor of today's video is Kalshi. Kalshi, the biggest prediction market in the market. If you download it using the link below and enter code DIGESTNBA, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the US, and on their platform you can trade yes/no on real life events, sports, elections, news, pretty much everything. And whether you're in California, Texas, or anywhere else across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. For sports fans, trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or playoff performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Who will be the Eastern Conference champs? Detroit, New York, Cleveland, maybe Boston. Place your predictions and cash out big with Kalshi. And don't forget to use code DIGESTNBA to earn an extra $20 when you trade your first 100. Thank you, Kalshi, for supporting this channel, this network, and this video. But the Boston Celtics, they're a team that's been popping up a lot in the trade season. Honestly, it's a little bit weird. In my opinion, the Boston Celtics are doing a very good job right now. They're the second team in the East. They've been beating some of the best teams in the NBA, all without Jayson Tatum, while a lot of their supporting cast has been stepping up. I mean, Jaylen Brown is playing at an MVP caliber level, and honestly, it's kind of criminal that he's not really given that respect. There's other players in the league. You got Nikola Jokic, SGA, Luka Doncic, but there's Jaylen Brown leading the charge without his right-hand man in Jayson Tatum, and they're the second seed in the East, looking to make another good, deep playoff run. And as we all know, the Eastern Conference is fairly weak. It's pretty much wide open. The Detroit Pistons are number one. They've been playing very well. The New York Knicks are now the third seed. They've been sliding down. So it's really anyone's game to make it out the East. And with all the reports that we've seen about the Boston Celtics, who do they want to go after? Who are they interested in? One thing is abundantly clear. They are ready to make a move, and I'll just go right into the reports as we've seen over the last several weeks, like this one right here, where multiple league sources have asserted something whispered in the wind for a long time. The Boston Celtics would love to add Jaren Jackson Jr. And Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies would be an interesting pickup by the Boston Celtics. I know a lot of fans would agree that you would give way too much for Jaren Jackson Jr. for someone that only averaged about 5 rebounds a game for a big man, where a lot of our own guys are doing a much better job on a much smaller scale, getting paid less in a smaller role. So why would we want to go all in on Jaren Jackson Jr.? You could argue that he spaces the floor. He's able to do the things that some of our bigs don't do right now. We may not need a rim runner. We may not need a real paint protector, but someone to allow the team to play 5 out, space the floor, add additional 3-point shooting, then there you go. There's Jaren Jackson Jr. However, that very large and ugly contract is not something that the Boston Celtics should or want to be married to anytime soon. Yes, we don't have Tatum, but we do have Brown, who is making about $50 million a year. Even though Tatum's not playing, he's also playing or getting paid about $50 million a year. And then you're adding another $50 million per year player. It just wouldn't make sense. And even though he matches the timeline of Tatum and Brown, Jaren Jackson Jr. adding another $50 million contract would just hurt the team financially. We would trade away too many players to even make it work, to the point where we'd have to find other players that are unsigned and just fill out the roster with just anybody, hoping not to be too deep in the luxury tax and these aprons. Jaren Jackson Jr. may not be the player that fit the Boston Celtics, but there have been other players that have been named, like Zubac. And we've talked about Zubac heavily on this channel, but the report that came out the other day via Tomar Azerly of Clutch Points on Ivica Zubac's trade market. He said Ivica Zubac has been widely considered the Clippers' best trade asset, with the Boston Celtics, Indiana Pacers, and Charlotte Hornets among at least 5 teams who inquired about the big man's availability. The Clippers, however, have rejected trade offers for Zubac with a belief around the league that they're seeking multiple first-round picks in any potential deal for him. Now, when it comes to Zubac, he does many similar things as a Jaren Jackson Jr. Doesn't really space the floor, doesn't add an extra three-point shooter, but he is a more traditional big, and he's very efficient at it. He's very, very good playing in the paint, back to the basket. His post game's very nice. He's a rim protector. He's a rim runner. He's a little bit different from Jaren Jackson Jr. You're getting 2 different styles of big men, one way more expensive than the other, but sometimes you have to make a gamble. I mean, that's what it is in basketball, whether you go and trade for a player or you don't trade for a player. The Boston Celtics could very much do nothing between now and the deadline and just trust that their team can make it as far as they go, even though we know that Tatum's coming back sometime this year as he is pushing his progression to come back and he's ramping up to come back. The Boston Celtics are in a very interesting spot. They could do nothing and everything's fine, or they can make a big move and swing for the fences and hope it doesn't blow in their face. But the report from Zach Lowe today puts it all to rest and really solidifies what it is that the Celtics are trying to do. In this report right here, the Boston Celtics are expected to operate as buyers at the trade deadline. They are going to make a trade. They're going to look for an upgrade. They're looking to get somebody on this team to add more to it, to make sure that no matter what happens, the Celtics make the finals. I think we can all agree that they can easily make it out the East. The way that the New York Knicks are playing right now, that's not a problem. That's not a question at all. The Celtics can handle the Knicks. And even though the Detroit Pistons are the 1 seed, they've got 30 wins right now. They're looking good. They don't have the playoff experience that the Boston Celtics have. The Celtics are easily poised to make it back to the finals. So you can make the argument that whatever trade that they make, whatever move is made between now and the deadline, needs to have the finals in mind. Who do you go out to get that has playoff experience, that can help even deep in a playoff run and doesn't just flame out in the first round because they're tired? Who is it that you go after? And like we've talked about on this channel, there's many other big men that have been named. You got Daniel Gafford from the Mavericks. There's Zubac. There's Jaren Jackson Jr. But Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zubac are the 2 names that keep coming up that seem like they could be real potential candidates for the Boston Celtics. And whether you have to give up too much, I understand you don't want to do that. The Los Angeles Clippers said it themselves. They want multiple first-round picks for Zubac. And if we take a look at just their contracts and take a look at how the money would work, because that's where things get tricky. If we take a look at Zubac's contract, first of all, team-friendly, $18 million a year, started this year. This is the trade target. This is the person that the Boston Celtics should want to go after. He can play as a traditional big. He's one of the best rim defenders, rim protectors, lob threat, whatever you need from Zubac. He can put his back to the basket, back anybody down low. You got it. The contract, very, very nice. The problem is the multiple first-round picks. The draft capital of the Boston Celtics would have to run really dry to beat any other team that may be looking at Zubac, and obviously it's a lot of Eastern Conference teams, but I truly believe that Zubac is the right player for the Boston Celtics. But then there's Jaren Jackson Jr., whose name constantly gets brought up as the Memphis Grizzlies are going through a weird time right now with John Moran and JJJ and who's coming, who's going, is it a rebuild or not? But the one thing I don't like about Jaren Jackson Jr. is the contract. He's on a new contract starting next year where he's getting paid $49 million and it increases to 50 to 52 and then 53 on the final year. Yeah, and he's got a player option. So the safe bet is Zubac, mainly for the money, because if you get Jaren Jackson Jr., you're stuck on that 49, 50, 52, $53 million contract and then the player option. And if you're not able to make a deep playoff run, if players continue to get hurt, if the team fails in any way, you are stuck with this contract with a player who will pick up that $53 million option. That's why it is a gamble on whichever path that they take. Those first-round picks that they'd have to give up to get Zubac, you may need those down the road. That salary cap that you're eating up just to get Jaren Jackson Jr., could have used that salary on other players that definitely deserve a contract extension for the Celtics already that are balling out of their minds. It's very, very tricky, but the Celtics have made it clear. They're going to be buyers. They're going to make a move. They're going to do something to help get this team over the hump, even if there really isn't a hump. Like I said, it's mainly for the finals. This team can make it out the East. That is there's no question about it. No problem at all. But it's the finals. What are the teams in the West that we're going to have to see? Will it be the Thunder, led by SGA? Will it be the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic? Who will it be? And the one thing that we definitely got to take a look at is the comparison between someone like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ivica Zubac. If we take a look right here, a lot of their stats for this season are very similar, but one of them is about to get a $50 million per year contract, and the other one is on a team-friendly $18 million per year contract in Ivica Zubac, who averages 4 less points than Jaren Jackson Jr., but doubles his rebounds. And that alone is the reason why I think we should get him. We already got scores. We got players who can score. But that rebounding right there, 10 rebounds a game, we could definitely use, as well as the 2.4 assists. A little handoff, a little DHO at the top of the key. I'm not mad at it. As well as the steals and blocks that goes to Jaren Jackson Jr., although not too different from someone like Zubac. The percentage from the floor. Zubac shoots 60% from the floor, while Jaren Jackson Jr. shoots 48%. Now, obviously, Ivica Zubac isn't shooting 60% from the floor, hitting long middies and fadeaways. No, that's back to the basket right at the rim. But 60%, that is amazing. 60% from the floor, 14 points per game. I'll take that over the alternative, which was 48% from the floor on 18 points per game. I'll definitely take the better efficiency from Ivica Zubac, but obviously he doesn't shoot any threes. Jaren Jackson Jr. shooting 36%. Their free throw percentage, very similar, only about 5% off. Everything there tells me that Zubac is our guy. He is the one that we should make a swing for, and if it's draft picks, so be it. If it's salary filler, so be it. It's easier to trade for Zubac for the Boston Celtics, but the only real problem is, how do you make it work? How do you outbid some of these other teams in the East that are obviously looking to add to their roster that are probably looking at the Celtics as a threat? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think any of these guys are worth going after? Do you think Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract is worth having? Is Zubac worth giving up first-round picks for? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We could have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.